Uh, I wasn't looking at the chat. My apologies, y'all. Da, da, da. Let me see. All right. And people were keeping, let me see. Oh, and the super chat too? Man, I apologize. My apologies, y'all. Big time. I went 23 minutes with them. And people are like, you're on mute. We can't. We can hear you. It said we can hear you, doctor. There's no sound. Doc, no audio. This is funny, y'all. But here's the funny. But y'all all right though. Shoot, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Y'all didn't even drop on me. This is hilarious. My apologies, y'all. My apologies. Um, I, if I'll probably edit this out afterwards. My apologies to everybody. Y'all all right though, man. Y'all still stayed with me. Y'all still stayed with me the whole time. I was sitting there ranting about Raw. Ah, you're the GOAT. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all all right with me. Y'all sitting there staying on. Y'all sitting there staying. All right, nobody dropping. I'm gaining viewers by muting. Oh man. Well, sincere apology to everybody. I'm sitting here. This is and everybody is completely right. Everybody's completely right. I should be looking at the chat. Yep, I agree with you 100%. The one week I was ready to go. I was going in, and this is funny. I should have absolutely looked at the chat. So my apologies, y'all. I'm ready to rock. Unc was yapping. Yes, I was. I definitely was. The goat was yapping muted. Y'all all right with me, man. Y'all all right with me. Y'all all right with me. So I thank y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me muted for 20 minutes, y'all. And y'all respectful too, man. See, this is the reason why I love this show. This is the reason why I love this show, because we have adults here being adults. I'm over here looking like a fool, muted, going in, and y'all just looking at me like, hello, somebody save them. Talk about save us. Talk about Y2J. That's a perfect segue for Y2J being talking about saving. Y'all saved me, man, because I would have been an hour looking fool. And somebody wanted my phone number. Y'all funny, man. Y'all try to get my phone number. I'm sure somebody somebody messaged me. Yeah, that's funny. Y'all were messaging me on Messenger. Man, my apologies, y'all. My apologies. All right. So yeah. So I'm gonna zip through what I said. All right. Here's the bullet points of what I said. All right. The bullet points of what I said, and once again, I apologize. Completely, I don't have a Discord. Completely my fault. Completely user error. Completely something. There's another step that happens, and I don't even like explaining myself. So I made a mistake. There's even no need to explain it. So, all right. So here's the deal. When it comes to the bullet points, bullet point version of what I said. All right. So here's the bullet point version of what I said. One, I don't have any time to watch Raw anymore, but I did watch Raw. So basically what I was recapping Raw. I spent all this time recapping Raw, recapping the time that I saw on Raw. All right. So I basically said the time that I saw on Raw, because I had some time in between clients and teaching, I wanted to create some content for y'all to see as an ex WWE fan and as an ex pro wrestling fan and someone who was paid for 5 years plus actually to watch the product, to commentate on it. Even before then, I was paid to write articles about it. So I've been watching Raw. I haven't been interested in pro wrestling for a long time, but I've been very interested in continued support from y'all, continued support from the after shows that I would have. That it was a lot of fun working with legends. All those things were super fun to me, so I really, really enjoyed that. Um, I haven't watched Raw. I haven't watched a full episode of Raw in 3 months. There was only one time that I turned on Raw, and that was when John Cena won the Intercontinental Championship. I checked to see how that happened because he was Grand Slam champion. All right, so I'm bullet pointing. I'm truncating what I was saying. I talked about the watching Raw. I talked about when I turned on Raw one time. Haven't watched it in 3 months. Don't have time because I work with clients now and I teach. I've picked up my client load and I picked up teaching during those times, so I don't have time. When I do have a break, I do spend the time with. Now, keep those comments up. I had all those comments. Keep it going. Keep it going. It boosts up those algorithms. I had all those comments telling me. I was wondering why I had all those comments. I should have looked. I should have looked. But yeah, keep them coming. Boost those algorithms. Keep those comments coming. But so I don't have time. I literally during Raw, I'm working. I'm with clients and I'm teaching. So, but when I do have a break, which I did on Monday, I had a small break. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to see how much I could stomach watching Raw. All right, I'm gonna give myself an interesting project for the PNP fam to see how much I can stomach Raw. All right, so that's what I did, and and I said, you know what, I'm gonna see what I can do and see how far I can go. And basically, I said, which I'm not going to repeat in detail because most of the people who are watching this watch Raw. I'm going to tell you what I first saw and what I last saw. All right. I was talking about Stephanie Vaquera too, as far as just her character. I went more in depth on that. Just the fact that she needs to. I think Stephanie Vaquera is the same person I saw 3 months ago. Alluring, appealing, and I still don't know what her character is. She's a devil worshiper. She have goat horns. She's a baby face. What is she? What is she? She's good in the ring. She has an allure to her. She has a mystique to her. Good. Who is she? And so now they're doing Raquel Rodriguez seemingly again. Did they push her over the past 3 months? I don't know. So it was hard for me to even be interested in what they're even doing. Talked about the Uso promo. Excuse me. When I got into the first thing that I saw was the Uso promo. It was a nothing promo. Definitely didn't give me interest in coming in. What caused me to bail out was the Liv Morgan versus Lyra Valkyria match. I bounced. And I said, no. So we're about 20, 25 minutes in. And I said, I'm good. This is it for me. So I was able to get about 20 minutes in, 20, 25 minutes in, and I turned it off. And so that's basically someone who was I said, this is for my great grandma. I've said this many times on the show. This is in honor of my great grandma. That's the reason why I started writing. That's the reason why I started wanting to start a business, grow in the journalism business when it comes to wrestling. That's why I ended up getting to the point of writing for Sports Illustrated, Fox Sports, Bleacher Report, etc. Building up my resume in honor of my great grandma, having PNP for so long, all these things, getting paid very, very well to start doing this stuff. And that's when I even started, being a scoopster and reporting, because I was like, I'm going to make my great grandma proud. I would venture to say that my great grandma is, she's happy about all the years that I did it for her, because if it wasn't for her, I would have bounced a while ago. And so Over the past 3 months, I haven't watched wrestling minus turning it on once. Um, and I turned it on yesterday to see what I could stomach. And when I have time, for the sake of creating content for my peoples, I'm going to um, see how much I could stomach. Man, that's going to be my thing whenever I have time, which is going to be rare because, like I said, I work during the live shows. But the rare times that I do have time, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to see what I can stomach, and I'm really going to bounce when I can. So don't expect that to be a weekly column because I work during those times. But when there is a break, I'll let y'all know. And I'll probably put on Twitter. All right, break time. I'm about to turn on, and we'll see where we go. So, all right. Again, thank y'all so much for continuing to rock with me and roll with me. And y'all didn't drop, man. Y'all just sit here telling me, hey, what's the right back? Stupid. So, yeah, man. Very absolutely. That was user error for sure. All right, so that was my take on Raw. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? We knew you would we knew you'd come. We knew you'd come. Yeah, watching Raw for 20 minutes, I can't get that back. And yeah, it was unappealing. And there was nothing about 3 months later that changed from 3 months ago. And so, hey, man, the check's in the mail. And I'd imagine after a year, from a business standpoint, you're thinking in your head, okay, well, year to year, we want our business to grow when it comes to productivity and appeal. But the numbers have dropped across the board when it comes to ratings. And so I don't see how that's better. From a business standpoint, though, like I always say, WWE knows how to do business, if you will. They know how to do some business, man. And hey, more power to them. More power to them, man. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of good business. WWE knows how to do good business. So I got to give them kudos for that for sure. When it comes to the product, though, it's like, okay, man, you're making it hard for yourself to pitch these business deals if you don't have the ratings to show for it. So make it easier. Make the pitches easier. For upcoming renewals and things like that. Make the pitches easier by showing the numbers, by showing the interaction, the fan interaction. Use that as as leverage. Don't just rest on your laurels. You can't rest on your laurels for business. You can't do that. You always have to be innovative. You always have to be innovative as a business person, man. So they know that. TKO's a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. So they know these things. However, the problem with those multi-billion-dollar conglomerates is that the desperation factor isn't there as strongly as someone who's really busting their butts to make sure that they maintain their clientele. It's the same thing as like national chains versus diners. As a diner, all the people that walk in, you grow a rapport because that every single person counts who walks in that diner. And not only do you want to retain their business, you want for them to tell people about your diner, because if your diner's good and your business is good, you basically just hired marketers for free. You have a free marketing team. People get paid a lot of money to market, to be on the marketing and promotions team for companies. But a good company is basically hiring promoters and marketers for free. That's genius. The only thing that you need is a good product. And if the product's good, then you have people volunteering to do a paid job for free. And that's basically that's business 101, man. That's business 101. And if the product's good, there you go. You've got free people. You got people on the payroll that you're not paying, but they're on the payroll as far as volunteer work. And so you got freelance promoters and marketing and the marketing team for free because your product's good. That's the benefit of good business, man. So that's my take on Raw. I watched it yesterday. I'm like, man, nothing's changed from 3 months ago. All right. So again, let's. I was asked this question last week on Patreon as far as Chris Jericho's concerned, and I was asked to book Chris Jericho for WrestleMania. All right. So with that being said, I got a super chat here, and I'm gonna address all the super chats here in a moment. Chris Jericho. So the hoopla and the hype was Chris Jericho's going to possibly be at Raw. That was debunked. He wasn't at the Barclays Center. Wasn't anywhere near. From what I saw on the socials, and he was still on the AEW roster page. So that debunked it. So people were already let down, and that's the thing, man. I've talked about that on the show too. Like, what constitutes a reasonable explanation of why Chris Jericho was to be expected? People in the pro wrestling world tend to really, really over expect things to a very huge fault. And I talked about that on a previous show when it comes to unmet expectations. So go check it out. But I will say, though, that there was some buzz around break down the walls would be broken down or something like that Adam Pearce said when he was I guess walking his dog or something like that. Somebody was showing a video, and so that caused someone to say, well, maybe there's a chance. And that's one thing with pro wrestling fans. Well, maybe there's a chance. He said the word wall. So like that causes people to get excited to see where this was going to go. So people were expecting, I have no idea what the main event was. I didn't see the main event, but what I heard was there was like a run in of, I think it was luchadors maybe. And so people were expecting Jericho to come at that time. But here's two things. Okay, this is two things that I want to happen at on the road to WrestleMania. One, I want it would be incredible for you to have 29 people, and then you have all these people, you have the Royal Rumble going on like it is, and then person number 30, instead of the actual 10 to 0 countdown, you literally have the old school Jericho countdown going from 10 to 0 at number 30. And I'm telling you, I would go back to August of 99 countdown when it came to Jericho, like the countdown to the millennium. It's not a millennium, but at the same time, like countdown to the return or countdown to Millennium Man, or like it's something to that nature. Countdown to the apocalypse, something to that nature. And so have that same timer, have that same type of timer when it came to Jericho, and just straight up you have the 10s with all the other 29 on 30. Lights go off. Instead of the normal 10, you have the regular 10. And so what you do is you have Jericho come out and do his thing. Definitely, I wouldn't have him win the Royal Rumble. Final four, absolutely. Make it a Final Four thing, 100%. So here's the Final Four I would have. Well, we'll do Royal Rumble predictions, but I do think two of the Final Four should be. So here's the thing. I think two of the Final Four should be Chris Jericho and Logan Paul. And I do think that I would even venture to say that you have two members of the Vision be in the Final Four. So whether it's Logan Paul and Braun Breaker, Logan Paul and uh, Bronson Reed, or Logan Paul and Austin Theory, which I wouldn't put Austin Theory in the Final Four, but the bottom line is, for the sake of causing odds to Chris Jericho and whoever the other babyface is, probably a Roman Reigns or a whoever other babyface would be interesting there. I'll be honest with you. I would have a sleeper in there, man. I've said this before. Like I would throw in like a Montez Ford in there, just to give him a really huge opportunity to go on a singles run. Stuff like that, being in a Final Four, like being an Iron Man in the Royal Rumble or being in the Final Four, that is a huge rub in and of itself. And I would have Montez Ford either be Iron Man or Final Four of the Royal Rumble. But I would have Jericho be there. And but I would have Montez be the I would have Montez be Iron Man versus Final Four, because I do think you should have a strong baby face on the other Final Four, like a Roman probably. And we'll talk about predictions here in a week or two. But you have Logan and whoever the other person is eliminate Chris Jericho, or Chris Jericho eliminates one person from the Vision, and then all of a sudden Logan Paul, boom, he goes up, he eliminates Jericho. So now you have Jericho being on a wrecking crew, a wrecking spree to dismantle the Vision. And so basically, imagine the weekly promos between Chris Jericho and Paul Heyman when it comes to the road to WrestleMania. I think the person in the silhouette is none other than Logan Paul. That's on the thumbnail. I think that Chris Jericho and Logan Paul should be the match for WrestleMania. I think that Logan Paul could afford a loss. His character is so beyond the WWE. He's a crossover talent. He's a crossover talent who's just not here to elicit another community of followers to make his YouTube page important, or make his YouTube page even bigger than it is, which is big. I think that Logan Paul, and I know, I mean, I've said this before, I've said this for several years now, Logan Paul legitimately was serious about becoming a pro wrestler, and that's what he is. To me, when I look at Logan Paul, I look at someone who's more of a pro wrestler than a YouTuber at this point. I think he's made that transition. I think he's money, man. I think Logan Paul is absolute money. And he is a heel. He's a tried and true, bona fide heel. And so Logan Paul has the ability to eat a pin and to lose at WrestleMania. He can afford to do that. And he has the ability to accentuate a person's positives and overcompensate or compensate, period, for someone's weaknesses. Jericho hasn't been in the ring for a while. It's been a while now, actually, since he was in AEW and competed. From what I've seen in pictures, he's gotten into phenomenal shape, which is kudos for him, for someone who's 55 years old. So kudos to him for that. So what I think you do is you have throughout the weeks Jericho, Logan Paul, and you have them beef against each other. Then you have both of them be a part of the Elimination Chamber match. And what you do is you have Jericho, Logan Paul, and you have someone like Braun Breaker spear Jericho and get back his comeuppance. Like Braun Breaker gets his lick back, gets his receipt from him being eliminated by Chris Jericho. And so that spear causes Logan Paul to go up, do the frog splash, and eliminate Chris Jericho. And then you have now Jericho eliminated Logan Paul at the Rumble. Logan Paul eliminated Chris Jericho at the Elimination Chamber. And then there you go. You have a great foundation for and I wouldn't do a lot of just pull aparts, and I wouldn't do like 18 matches before you get to the WrestleMania match. Barely have them touch, minus the Elimination Chamber. So now you have the Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania to really build on this angle between Jericho and Logan Paul. Jericho can be the veteran, established person who said, you know what, I was the same person you were 25 years ago. I was the young, smug, arrogant jerk that thought that the world owed me a bow down. So you're nobody different. You're nobody new, Logan Paul. I was you 25 years ago. I beat you to you. And that could be the angle. You have Logan Paul trying to end Chris Jericho because Jericho's coming in and making good points of the fact that he was Logan Paul 25 years ago. The very arrogant, young, smug jerk trying to really get himself established when it came to the WWE main event. So the angle speaks for itself, and the quality of the match will be really, really good, has an opportunity to be a show stealer. And for weeks, what you do is you have promo face-offs. You have them trying to one-up each other in promos. You can easily have the Vision attack Jericho backstage. You can easily have another auxiliary feud going on with like the Usos. And that's what I would do, actually. I would have the Usos go against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed at WrestleMania, and I would have the Bronze win the tag team championships. But you have the Usos against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, and that's a feud that's brewing. As WrestleMania is coming, then the Vision. You have that a few weeks before WrestleMania. You have the Vision being outnumbered, and then you have Chris Jericho come back after being laid out backstage. You don't need Chris Jericho every single week. You got to keep the mystique with Chris Jericho, keep him interested, keep him interesting with the landscape that we have right now with pro wrestling. People get so bored with seeing someone every week if it's just simple, same type of segments, same type of song and dance, same type of promo over and over and over again. From what I'm hearing, people are already getting tired of Gunther because he's coming in and saying the same type of promos as far as beating up John Cena. So you don't want to do that with Jericho. You want to make this more of a featured. You want to make him a featured attraction more than just some weekly mainstay that you're hearing promos and you're hearing the same type of stuff every week. You got to make it make sense as far as him taking some time away to sell a beatdown led by Logan Paul, just to come back to do the save. There you go. You got the WrestleMania match between Jericho and Logan Paul. I definitely would have Jericho win and beat Logan Paul. Logan Paul can absolutely afford a loss. I mean, heels can afford losses generally anyways, more than baby faces, because you have to think about from a gain loss effect or not a gain loss effect, but from more of a loss aversion effect. People usually think about, if the two things are equal, people usually think about the negative more than the positive. And so when it comes to a babyface losing, they're focusing more on, there's more weight on that. There's more risk in that than the babyface winning. And so you have the babyface win when it comes to Jericho, and you have him win WrestleMania. Then you can have Jericho saying, "I haven't forgot about you, Braun Breaker," and then you can have Jericho Braun. There's so much Jericho Steiner references that he could have from his WCW days. I actually would have Braun beat Jericho. Probably in a I would have Jericho win by disqualification, just to have that type of win in his column in a way. And then I would have Jericho just out promo Braun Breaker tremendously. And that gives Jericho the type of status for him to be able to put over Braun. I kind of would schmoz it up, because clean finishes don't really go too well, because there's the payoff being a clean finish nowadays, it doesn't really go far. And so if it means something, then I would do it. So yeah, I would have Jericho really be involved in the vision for at least the first half of the year. When it comes to SummerSlam, things like that, you've got a lot of opportunities for Jericho to be in marquee matches. When it comes to that, we'll see how it's hard to book out until SummerSlam because of what we see right now. It is kind of fertile ground to see what we can do as far as where we're at when it comes to Jericho. We don't, Jericho hasn't even debuted. He hasn't even returned yet. But writing's on the wall that he's going to come back. Jericho doing a weekly thing, not interested. And I talked about this on my Patreon last week. This is coming from someone who Jericho is in my all-time top 5. And one thing, but at the same time, I'm a realist when it comes to things, period. And I'm certainly a realist when it comes to pro wrestling. Now, someone who's been watching pro wrestling for 40 years and someone who also have Jericho in his all-time top 5, that doesn't matter to me if it still doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to sit here and favor someone just because they're in my top 5 and sit here and turn a blind eye to ignorance, or turn a blind eye to something that just is completely illogical and just ridiculous booking. I'm not going to turn a blind eye to that. So if Jericho comes in as a heel, bad idea, because he's going to get cheered. So that's just going to suffocate. He's going to be swimming upstream, which is going to hurt his character and hurt his momentum. If you're swimming upstream, it's going to hurt your momentum, of course. So bringing him in as a heel wouldn't make sense. Having him come in taking losses wouldn't make sense. like I said, the only reason why I would have him lose Elimination Chamber, I would make it with the help of Braun Breaker. And so it's not just a clean 101. He's already been battered and bruised, and I would have him beat. I would have him pin someone already, even if he pins like an Austin Theory or something like that. If the people from the Vision is trying to trying to outweigh the odds, and that's the thing, man. I think you need to play on that. I think you need to play on that in the Royal Rumble with having the Final Four, and I also think you need to play on that when it comes to the Elimination Chamber. I think like 3 of the 6 should be a part of the Vision. So Jericho pins Theory, and then you have Braun Breaker. Then you have like Braun Breaker spear Jericho. Then you have Logan Paul frog splash Jericho, and then that makes sense as far as that protects Jericho as a character. Then you have him win. One of the biggest issues that I had with Jericho in the WWE was the guy was so daggone 50-50, man. Like as good as Jericho was and is as a character, in the 20 plus years that he was in the WWE, one of the most annoying things to me was the very fact that Jericho would eat pins so much. And he got to the point, I remember it was a long time in the WWE that I was as a Jericho fan, I was expecting him to lose. Like I was expecting him to lose against RVD. I was expecting him to lose against Triple H. I was expecting him to lose against Shawn Michaels, for instance. And I remember when he lost against Fandango at WrestleMania, I said, this is what I'm talking about here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like when it comes to Jericho, there were so many times that he was on a losing end of matches that I'm like, how in the heck is this helping his character? This isn't helping the momentum of Jericho. He has to overcompensate with being a fantastic character, which he is. He has to overcompensate doing that at the expense of losing matches. And that philosophy never made sense to me. Roman Reigns barely loses matches, and that's the reason why he's on the top echelon of names nowadays. Cody Rhodes barely ever loses matches. He is on the top echelon. Hogan hardly ever lost matches. I remember doing a show before, and I was doing percentage of people's wins and losses. Austin had an enormously high percentage. Hogan had a high percentage. Taker had a high percentage. And those are people whose characters as baby faces stands the test of time because they didn't lose much. And that's the thing, man. If you don't lose much, that means every single loss is being paid attention to. But if you keep losing, winning, and that's how Jericho was. In the WWE, he would lose, win, face, heel. It's just, and then every now and then they may give him a title run because he was an amazing character and incredible in the ring. So it's like, you got to protect him, man. One thing that we can pick up from John Cena's very underwhelming retirement run is you got to protect wins and losses, man. And they didn't do that. They didn't do a really good job with that with John Cena. If this Gunther loss was supposed to mean something, you had Cody beat him before that. You had Dominic beat him before that. You had Lesnar obliterate him before that. So you got to protect them, man. Anyone who says, as someone who has a PhD in psychology, the philosophy and the psychology behind wins and losses don't matter is absolutely atrocious. It makes absolutely no psychological sense whatsoever that wins and losses don't matter. Tell that to Hulk Hogan, tell that to Steve Austin, tell that to The Undertaker, tell that to Bruno Sammartino, tell that to Bob Backlund, tell that to Nick Bockwinkel, tell it to Vern Gagne, tell it to the legends when it comes to the pro wrestling field, the pro wrestling history. You're saying wins and losses don't matter, but when you talk about your list of babyface Hall of Famers, headline Hall of Famers, a lot of them have just incredible win-loss records. So you can't do that, man. They do matter. They matter tremendously. And they should matter because they should feel it. You should feel a loss. When someone loses a match who continues to win and have wins, you should feel the loss. That's the reason why heels should go on winning streaks and just obliterate people and gain that heat in order for the babyface to get the comeuppance and to get that because they were able to dethrone the heel. So, WrestleMania 42, Chris Jericho, Logan Paul, absolutely book it. It would be absolutely money, 100% money. I really think that match would be incredible. I really do, and I think the promos leading to it would be it would be really good because you have a story on the table already. Young, smug, arrogant, cocky Logan Paul. Young, smug, arrogant, cocky 2000s, early 2000, late 90s Chris Jericho. He debuted in August of 99. He was about to turn 29 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He was 20, if I'm not mistaken. Jericho was 28 years old when he debuted in WWE. You have it on, you have it right there. You have it right there on the table. You have it on the shelf. Now it's on the table. It's right there for the picking. You have the angle. Young, smug Paul trying to put the dog in this pasture. Put the dog to sleep. I mean, that's completely what you could say when it comes to that. I'm gonna put the dog in his pasture. You're trying to you're trying to relive something that was dead 25 years ago. I mean, you literally can say that. And Jericho has comebacks for days. You can say, well, it's interesting that you said that, Logan Paul, because 25 years ago, I had no clue who you are, and now you're trying to be like me. Like you can clearly say something to that nature. And then you can clearly say, I talked to your mom, and she told me how much you were a Chris Jericho fan back in 2010. Like you can clearly say things like that to really start roasting each other on the mic. Make it real. Make it like, oh, wow. Like you approve that? You approve that? Ooh, that's going under a little bit. Ooh, that seemed like that's going under a little bit too much, but okay. Like I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for the reality in these promo battles that they would have, and I think that they will both do a fantastic job at it. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. I talked about this last week on the Patreon, and you heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. The person in the silhouette of the thumbnail is none other than Logan Paul. Chris Jericho, Logan Paul, WrestleMania 42. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Michael Pasolano. Thank you, man. Thank you, Michael Pasolano. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Danimal 499, Chris Jericho will be touring Foz in UK in February. If he returned to, it would be out all February. my opinion, he should stick with music. So there's my point. See, that right there proves to me even more that he should be written off. He should come back. Uh, Royal Rumble should be written off. I do think, I don't know when the Elimination Chamber is, probably March. I think it was March last year too. Elimination Chamber, February 28th. So that's when Elimination Chamber is this year. Let's see, Jericho, Fozzy Tour 2026. Interesting. They're coming my way in their tour. They are, Jericho is clear on the 28th. So he, interestingly enough, isn't that interesting? He Saturday, February the 21st, they have a European tour in February. Interestingly enough, there's a gap between their two shows. Let me do this. Let me show this. Let me show this while we're at it. Let me show this. There is a gap between their shows. They have a European tour starting on let's do this one here. Let me show the whole thing. Yeah. So they have a European tour February 6th through the 21st. And then oddly enough, between February the 21st and May the 7th, there's a week there that they won't be doing any dates. So I'm not the conspiracy theorist. However, there's no February 28th date set for Fozzy. They will be doing a European tour. They will do another date in Daytona Beach, Florida. And ironically, the date that's missing in their tour is February the 28th. That's right in between the two concerts, the two dates that they have. 21st of February, 7th of May. Sandwiched in between those dates is February the 28th. And guess what's on February the 28th that Fozzy doesn't have a date for? Elimination Chamber. I'm just saying. So it does open up Chris Jericho to actually compete in the Elimination Chamber. And the Royal Rumble this year is when? It's in Saudi, right? The last Saturday in January. Yep, 31st. So it's the 31st. All right, let's go back to this real quick. So you have this tour again. It's the full tour dates. They start on February the 6th in Brighton. And then they do their new European tour. And so both the Royal Rumble date, which is a week before in Saudi, and then so even the day after Saudi, Jericho can make a appearance. But then you have the tour. But here's another interesting part here. I don't see any Mondays on there either. But I don't think that Fozzie's gonna I don't think Jericho's gonna fly to Raw. He could actually. He could. That's going to be a lot of traveling. But I mean, because interestingly enough, I don't see any Monday dates on here either. I'm just saying, no Monday dates. None. There's Friday dates, so that takes away SmackDown. But there's 0 Monday dates. So could you add in some a little bit of extra traveling for the road? Possibly. I do think it's ironic that he doesn't have any Monday dates. I wouldn't venture to say that these Monday dates are going to be utilized by being on Raw. I don't see that happening. But I will say that it's possible. That is possible. It's open. It's open. Let me see. Raw is going to be Cleveland on the 9th. So he would have to go from Manchester to Cleveland and Norwich. I doubt that. Then you have of course the Rumble on the 31st, the 2nd in Philly. So that's still they wouldn't even start their tour yet. And so, like I said, the 9th on Cleveland, they start their tour the day before on the 8th. So Saturday night's main event's open, and Elimination Chamber is open. So both of those dates are open, interestingly enough. So we shall see what happens with Chris Jericho. But book it. Jericho versus Logan Paul should be the match. It really, really should be the match for Jericho coming back after such a hiatus away from WWE. Someone who's a really strong heel that will give him even bigger pops as a babyface, and also someone who can really go with him and have a really, really good match coming back as at least one-on-one match. I mean, he can do Elimination Chamber, which will be interesting. But like I said, the Smosh, do the Royal Rumble, do the Elimination Chamber, do WrestleMania. Logan Paul's the guy to oppose during those few months. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great ride, and once again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Not only did people stayed during that 20 minutes of delete that would be deleted. I was a mute for 20 minutes, and again, my apologies, but I think that I can do something with that in the post production, and so hopefully I can shave that off, and for the people who are listening to this, we'll get to the point where it goes straight to me talking. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Not only did y'all not drop, y'all actually increased. So thank y'all, man. I really appreciate it. It was fun. Great comments, great super chats, great show as always. For episode 7, I think I'm at 716, 717. I think I'm at 716 now, 716. 3 months away from anniversary. Lots of great things in 2026. Y'all listen, y'all go be great in 2026, man. I'm not gonna, be that person who's gonna give you the real deep rhyming slogan for 2026. I'm not going to say get your fix in 2026. None of that. Just straight up, go be great, man. Go be great. Go be great, man. Quit sleeping on your potential. Go be great, man. Go be great. All right? I believe in you. You got to believe in you. Until next week, enjoy your week of wrestling. God bless. And always remember, I do it for you. Have a good night, buddy. So